All right, so I sold the Marshall 1960 AX. Just didn't need it, didn't really want it. So I stacked it as a single stack, a little high, but it's good, and I can get to all my cables here. And I was able to pull out my guitar case, so now I've got like my 10 main guitars. And then back there's my FM9 against the wall and little room, and yeah, and it's a totally more cool vibe. So I had to just I guess rephase the mics, and I moved them around. It was a few things that I wanted to change, so I figured it out. So I've got on the stock Mesa, I got 57 M160 ribbon. On the matchless, I've got a 57 and a TLM 102. And on the VHT, which is an open back greenback, I've got a 57 and a TLM 102. There it is. Yeah, here we go. You get to hear him. You excited, Bo? Oh, he's gone. Quite a weekend, man. My birthday, Easter. I just woke up from a nap. Yeah. Well, yeah, so some changes. I sold a bunch of gear this weekend. I sold that 1960 AX cab. I sold in-ear system. Yeah, it's good, man. Simplifying. So we got the 3 cabs. I got 4 amps. I got the Marshall, modern Marshall in 70s mode now. I've got the 77 JMP. I've got a dual rec, and I've got the matchless. And then I've got the 3 cabs. I've got the simplified pedal board. I've got my setup right here, which is real cool, with the amp selector, the radio and the DI. And I've got Axe Effects right here. I've got an Axe Effects 3 MK2. And I've got like a Sans amp for bass. And that's it. And everything's so much simpler, and like I can bypass everything and just do one thing, or it's incredibly different, simple. And the other thing too is I was having issues with my rig. Yeah, I've been having issues with this since really I bought it 2 years ago, and especially issues with when you're using virtual instruments, doing drum editing, a lot of crossfades. It just was running terribly. And after much research and realizing that I had a RAID system, which I would never want to do that again for a working session drive, would be have a RAID system. That's where it's like recording, and then it's recording and doing a redundant. So I got talked into, or somebody told me, get this Blackmagic disk speed test, and I got that, and I tested my internal drive that's in my iMac was running around 2,600 megabytes per second, and my session drive, where the sessions are, if you guys don't know, if anybody doesn't know, like Pro Tools runs on the system drive, which is in the computer, that's running ripping. But then the sessions are on an external drive, or a separate drive from the main system drive. And that was running at 148 megabytes per second. And that was the issue. And I think it was a little unstable. And the way it was configured, it was going in like USB 3.1. I don't know, but it wasn't going in Thunderbolt. Like, it was just the way it was, it just wasn't happening. So I ended up just on a recommendation, I just bought a Samsung T7. Those Samsung drives are great. So I got a 2 terabyte Samsung T7, and I ended up daisy chaining it into the UAD Octo satellite, because I only have 2 ports. This is nerd stuff right here, guys. But some of you guys are going to be interested to hear about this. So I have two Thunderbolt ports coming out of my my iMac. One of them is plugged into one of them is my HDX chassis because I have an HDX card. The other one is my UAD satellite, and that's it. So the satellite has a through, like a jumper, like a through. So I was able to plug the T7 into that. So keep in mind that the old system drive was running about 148. And now here is the new system drive, which is our new session drive, which is called Sessions 2023. And now watch. This is beautiful. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It runs a little faster straight in, but this is the best I got because I don't have a hub. I'd rather do this than a hub, but there it is. Reading at 876 megabytes per second. I mean, that's really the issue. That's the reading, the writing 7. Yeah, I mean, this is great. So anyway, needless to say, wow, so much better. Like way better. So yeah, and I still have the RAID down here. I only pulled over active sessions onto the T7. I'm going simpler. So if somebody calls it from a year ago and they're like, oh, can I get, a bounce without bass on it? I can open up the RAID, plug it in, and go for it. So anyway, here are the 3 cabs. So here's the Mesa cab with the rectifier now, and I didn't change any of the settings based on what I had done the day before I sold the 1960 AX because I had I moved everything over, so now it's a single stack. But here it is, Mesa and Mesa. Yeah, and that's got a TS-808 on it, like the Maxon. Is it called TS-808? OD-808. Yeah, that's nice. And I can turn the treble down if it's too, but that's the good spot for the mics. Is the modded Marshall in 70s mode, biddy, into the Mesa. And this is no pedal, just plug, just my Sunburst Les Paul. That's gonna be killer, man. So much better. I was able to get the mics in the right spot for the Mesa and the Marshall. Here's the Marshall, the same Marshall, same settings, same everything, into the open back 212. This is with green. I love this cab. I love the sound of that. And a number of people were saying, there wasn't a lot of low end, or there wasn't enough low end. And, I mean, I think no matter what, I don't know, you'd be surprised, man, when you're mixing guitars, a lot of times it's not as much low end as you think. But here's the Marshall into the Mesa. Okay, so we're going back to the Mesa. And look in this area here. You're hearing a lot of that 120. Listen to that. 5, right? Now you come here and you go back to that like 105 area. It's good though, and I also have an AC30 that sounds killer through this. And you know what else sounds killer through this is the matchless. The matchless into this is cool. You have to. it's cool, especially with like the Tele or like the Jazzmaster or the Strat. It's awesome. So again, here's the modded Marshall in 70s mode with the Mesa cab. Now with the open back 212. I like them both, so, and they're different, and obviously the Mesa is the greenback thing. I mean, is the vintage 30 thing, and then the open back 212 are greenbacks. So here again, open back 212. And then here is the matchless into the matchless cab, which is an open back 212. That's nice. And again, I love that those sounds with a little more of like single coil Jazzmaster Strat, but here's the modded Marshall with the open back 212 and the matchless into matchless. That's matchless 2, channel 2. So I've got channel 1, which is more chimey, more clean, but just to get the sound going. But again, the matchless I can put into the VHT, the 212 greenback cab. I wouldn't put the Marshalls into the matchless cab because the matchless cab is 4 ohms, and I don't even know. Yeah, I guess technically I wouldn't set them at 4 ohms, especially my vintage one. I would not futz with it. So there you go. Mesa into Mesa. Marshall into Mesa. Marshall into open back 212. Matchless into matchless. Matchless top is just so beautiful, and it's not accentuated with humbuckers the way it is accentuated with singles, but you can still hear it. Just, oof, man, I just love that amp. So that's it. And a lot of the records I've been doing lately, I've been using a lot of Axe Effects. I'm gonna do an updated video on what I got going on with Axe Effects. I am really getting good at this thing. Really getting the hang of it. So anyway, that's it, man. Happy Easter, everybody. Yesterday was my birthday. I turned 59. Whoa. I got one more year. I have 364 days left of being in my 50s. It's weird, man. It's so weird. What a drag it is getting old. I don't know. It's not that bad, I'm still just me. Look, I'm still doing the same stuff. I'll be 90 if I live that long, and I'll be like, the new Line 6 modeling is exactly like the old amps. I'll sound like an old Jewish guy. Peace.